I, first of all, thank all the organizers, the participants, and our MLA Sahab, members of the press. To everyone, Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan, Salam, and very good evening. The most important, should I speak in English or mix or what?
English.
English. Mix. Okay. The most important contribution of Baba Sahib Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar and his few friends in the Constituent Assembly is providing one vote to each and every citizen of the country. The moment he or she acquires 21 earlier and now 18 years of age. This is the basic concept of transferring of sovereign from the emperor or the queen or the kings to public at large. So the entire populace of this country was made the ruler of this country by this right of universal suffrage. By way of voting in elections, what do we do? This is the most important aspect of understanding. In a democracy and in our constitutional democracy, architected by friends of Baba Sahib Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar along with leading the entire pack. Common people transfer their sovereignty to a few people who are their servants. Please mark my words. जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री हैं, हमारे चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, ये सब मंत्री हैं, स्पीकर साहब हैं, चीफ जस्टिस साहब हैं, कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी हैं, चीफ सेक्रेटरी साहब हैं, ये सब जनता के, आपके और मेरे नौकर हैं. थोड़ा हार्श लफ्ज हैं, लेकिन to make people understand, I use this term, but this is a fact. Public servant, in English everybody says public servant. So I am translating it in a different manner. They are servants of the people. So this is the most important power of the people, which they transfer for a limited period of time to some people, to serve them using their sovereignty for a limited people, staying within the boundaries of constitution. This is in nutshell our constitutional democracy. And there are various checks and balances. Now, election commission is also a servant of the people. Election commission is only performing a duty which people of India have handed them over to hold a free and fair election. An election which common masses are able to understand, and not only understand, they are able to see and confirm for themselves things which my brother just said, that my vote is casted as I intend and then counted ultimately as he casted. There is a chain of safety in between. And one more thing which I will very categorically, because election commission always says that you trust us because we are a constitutional body. No, the entire scheme of things, now you have to understand this very clearly, the entire scheme of things of any elections across the globe is mistrust. The person or the body which is organizing or holding the elections, mistrust. And that is why Election Commission is forced to say what? Disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. What it says in every press conference. Our thumb rule, our golden rule is, this is what Mr. Rajiv Kumar also says. Disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. Why? Because there is an inherent mistrust, built-in mistrust in every election holding body. Anybody who wants to not disclose, to not come forward and answer all questions, and to not show everything, to diverge everything, anybody who does withhold information is conceptually presumed to be a fraud, a cheat in any election. That's in nutshell the concept of elections in the entire globe. Now, from 5th of this, now I will tell you a few important points which you people need to keep at the back of your mind. Number one, every single political party in the countries, at least every single major political party has opposed tooth and nail EVM, holding elections by EVM, including the Bharatiya Janata Party. At one point in time or the other. So nobody should have that love and affection for EVM unless somebody wants to misuse the EVM. So I'm trying to build up my case like this. There are about 50 petitions which have been dismissed by the Honorable Supreme Court of the country challenging the holding of election by the method of EVMs. 46 have been dismissed. My petition is one of the very few 2-3 exceptions which have survived, half survived, because I have been given liberty to approach the lower courts. More than the Supreme Court, there are various high courts which have dismissed even more number of cases against EVM. Some of them slapping fines also. But none of the judgments, mind you, none of the judgment says that you cannot hold elections by way of paper ballot. None of the judgments says that you have to hold elections only by way of EVMs. Now I come to the law. Law as it exists today. आज का जो कानून है वो मैं आपको बताऊं. आज का कानून इलेक्शन कराने के लिए कहता है कि चुनाव पेपर बैलेट से ही होंगे, चुनाव पेपर बैलेट से ही होने चाहिए. सेक्शन 59 ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल्स एक्ट. अब इसकी एक्सेप्शन है. पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 1984 में एक जजमेंट दी थी जिसमें यह कहा गया था क्योंकि पेपर बैलेट से ही प्रावधान है कानून में, तो पेपर बैलेट के अलावा चुनाव अगर मशीन से होते हैं तो वो गैर संवैधानिक, गैर कानूनी. एनी इलेक्शन विच आर हेल्ड बाय अ मेथड अदर देन पेपर बैलेट इज इलीगल, इज द जजमेंट HiveJaw's judgment of 1984. Therefore, to overcome that judgment, government brought out certain changes in law by way of section 61 capital A. Except A, capital A, is the provision which under certain circumstances allows holding elections by way of machines, not electronic voting machines. I am reproducing the section 61 capital A before you. It doesn't say electronic voting machines. Section 61 capital A permits holding of elections by machines subject to the condition that election commission, this is very important, subject to the condition that election commission will disclose by way of an order that it cannot hold elections in certain constituency, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number of constituencies, by way of paper ballot. Therefore, it wants to hold election by way of machines, not electronic voting machines. So Election Commission has to issue orders for individual seats on which it wants to hold elections by way of machines, including electronic voting machines. Right? To my knowledge, and this is the first thing I've exposed, to my knowledge, Election Commission has not followed 61 capital A till date in any election, starting from 1998 onwards. Because this 61 capital A came into existence only in 1989. So, technically speaking, all the elections which are held by way of electronic voting machines are illegal per se, they hold no legal ground. Such is the fraud which is happening in this country. Now the entire battle, for whatever reasons, I will not go into the reasons because I have come into this campaign against EVM only from 5th of January 2024 when it became a mass movement because Mission Save Constitution hit the streets. Before me, a lot of people have done a lot of hard work. I will be failing in my duty if I don't take names like Deva Saham Saab, like Kolse Patil Saab, like Prabhakar Parkala Saab, like Dr. Pyarelal Garg Saab, like Meshram Saab, Raju Purlekar Saab, a lot of others. But why I am taking these names today also is because these people are hung up. Even out of these people, many of them were convinced that EVMs can be improved some way or the other by introduction of VVPATs, by introduction of various other security methods. When I joined this campaign on 5th of January 2024, I convinced and tried to convince everyone because I undertook a detailed study. I have some experience in conduct of elections also. So I undertook a holistic study and then made up my mind, and every person who was actually genuinely concerned about free and fair elections today is on one page with me, and that is elections are safest by way of paper ballot. Elections are cheapest by way of paper ballots. Elections are quickest by way of paper ballots. Elections are most transparent by way of paper ballots. Every single one. Barring a few, which I will come to in the later part of my address. Now, having convinced everyone and bringing them on one page, all the experts, technical, legal, and those who collect data, we moved the next step. Now that agitation was so strong during the Lok Sabha elections that there was a direct hit on the management capacity of BJP and RSS during the course of Lok Sabha elections, and therefore their seats fell to 240 instead of what was planned by them up to 400. This, my dear friends, is the most important reason why they fell to 240. But if you actually rule out the counting of votes of EVM, then their seats will not cross. Please believe me, I have all the detailed research. If anybody wants, I can convince individually. Convincing everyone here at public at large is slightly difficult. They would not cross 50. BJP on their own. That is the fraud which has been played over this country. Now, how to prove it? It was an absolutely difficult task because of 2-3 reasons which I will list out once again. One, everybody who was opposing EVMs was wanting to improve the EVMs and not saying that bring paper ballots into the voting system. So the entire debate was how to improve these machines, which cannot be improved under any circumstances. EVM is the most vulnerable method of holding elections under the sun. The most vulnerable. even if everyone is honest, even then somebody from outside the system can manipulate and hack the system. So there should be no love and affection for this system, which is per se by default prone to manipulation, which by default does not fulfill the basic criteria of the voter having the feel of his vote. He should be physically able to feel his vote, see from his own eyes, touch his own vote. By EVM, he is not seeing his vote, he is seeing an image of his vote at best. So this falls foul of the basic criteria of holding elections. And this is the judgment of 2013, titled as Subramanian Swamy versus Election Commission. It categorically holds that votes which are polled in the machines are no votes. Votes which are polled in the election machines are no votes at all. Votes are those votes which should be deciphered or recorded by way of a VVPAT, not by this printer method of VVPAT which the Election Commission is once again fraudulently using. Supreme Court's judgment says only voters verifiable paper audit trail. I convinced the entire intellectual class, especially the Citizen Commission for holding elections, headed by Devasayam Saab and all the senior other people of various experts across the globe, that the best form of VVPAT, that is voters verifiable paper audit trail, is paper ballot itself. This printing business is not the best way. And since it is the cheapest, why do you want to spend more money? Now, one argument was that you count 100% votes, you count 50% votes. Now, if we want to count 100% VVPAT votes as they exist today, what is the fun of having this string of machines in between? You just have a 1 rupee or less than 1 rupee stamp and some amount of ink is used, and then rest is paper. The cost will fall by 100 times at least. So what is this love for this machine when you have to count each and every votes? So these arguments are totally fallacious. So why we lost all these cases is for the simple reason that everyone in unison, and I request all of you people to read the judgment of ADR of 26th of April 2024. The first paragraph categorically says this, that all the petitioners in one voice, in unison, say that they do not doubt the integrity of Election Commission of India. Right? This is a statement made during this hearing in the last year. And everyone, all the petitioners. Now, do you people expect that any judge in the world, leave apart the concept of judiciary being under pressure, because 4 sitting judges have also said so, holding a press conference, leave apart that also. When you are yourself, your best case scenario is that we fully trust the Election Commission of India, how can you doubt its integrity that it is holding elections unfairly in a mischievous manner? So that was one reason for losing that case. Second was, why Supreme Court dismissed that petition? Because there is no tangible or solid evidence against the EVMs. So these were two challenges which we were facing when I joined this campaign. So the entire civil society asked me to contest election from Rampur to collect solid evidence. Why contest election for collecting solid evidence? Because Election Commission is categorically saying these machines are truthful. Nobody should doubt it. Right? This is what Election Commission says. 100% says you should not doubt it. You cannot doubt it. Anybody who doubts it is anti-national, blah blah, what not they say. You check it. That's also what they say. But you will not be allowed to touch it. Right? This is the stand of Election Commission of India. So there was only one way, which the civil society realized, that somebody has to contest elections to get into the system to see what is happening. and collect actual proof. This is exactly what I did when I contested elections in Rampur. The sole reason for my contesting that election was to collect evidence, first-hand evidence, and that we were 100% successful. What we collected was videography of the entire election process, in which the election officials flouted. It was clearly visible that election commission officials were clearly flouting almost every provision which is provided in the Constitution, in the Representation of People's Act, the rules made thereunder, and the guidelines, notifications, orders issued, and the facts stated in frequently asked questions by the Election Commission in public domain. Almost all the rules, all the provisions are flouted. That is what we got first-hand information about while contesting the elections, and during that period I also got various orders from different courts. This Haryana judgment, which came only last year, was actually halfway. Now we are even. Government and us, at one point in time, we were almost zero in this battle against EVMs. Now we are 50-50. But that point in time, we were meticulously collecting evidence on the ground, as well as we were taking one step after the other in the courts, winning each step by painful battle at every step, every inch that we progressed up against the might of this fraudulent system was very difficult, let me assure my friends. And the biggest problem was a lot of our friends also left us in the lurch. Very few people left, and I congratulate the team here of Goa. I really have the deepest and greatest of respects for your team in Goa and the people of Goa. Because they are one of the few who never left the country. And this is most important. Jack Saab was just telling you about 2.5 and 13.5% people. So Goa is a tower of strength for people like us who are fighting this battle. Please understand this. I draw strength from people of Goa. And I don't say things which I don't mean. So we were collecting evidence like this. So we got orders from the High Court of two nature. One, that every proceeding starting from first level of checking, which is to explain to people like you, because you are important people, 6 months before the elections are held, Election Commission is supposed to show to all political parties that machines are safe. There is no hanky-panky, you check the machines. 6 months before the elections are held, elections are announced actually. So videography has to be conducted from that day onwards till the counting of votes. Every event has to be videographed and has to be captured by CCTV cameras. Every event. And we got an order from Delhi High Court, in my case only, that this exercise will be conducted for all the 543 seats of Lok Sabha. And secondly, they will be kept safe. They will be preserved also. So that day was our biggest victory days, but I could not announce it at that point in time because that will actually give food for thought to our opponents who are trying to use this method of holding fraudulent elections. So that was the biggest victory day for us till now. So if these machines are functioning according to law, no manipulation, no fraudulent behavior is being conducted on them to favor one party, because it always favors one party, then Election Commission should be the first person to come out and say, you take this videography and and see our honesty, see our truthfulness, see our transparency, see how meticulously we are following the law, because we have told the Supreme Court time and again that EVM machines are safe because we follow this rigorous procedure, because we follow these rigorous protocol procedure SOPs. So actually, if said on a lighter side, I was trying to prove to the world that Election Commission is conducting elections honestly. Modi ji is winning the election honestly. He is not an Indian PM, but he is a people's PM. I was trying to do that by asking for giving me the videography so that I can show to the world how honest Modi ji is, how honest Amit Shah Sahab is, how honest RSS and BJP is. But they said no. We will not give you because this will expose our honesty to the world. We want to remain dishonest. That is what is happening. Why this battle between someone like me, who's actually facing so much of wrath, and including our Chief Minister of the neighboring state, who devoted his first speech, opening sentence remarks probably to me, taking my name several times in a very derogatory manner. I am trying to prove that Fadnavis Saab is not a EVM CM by asking for videography of the Maharashtra election also. He is abusing me. What is this problem of his? He will not allow me under any circumstances to prove that he is an honestly elected Chief Minister. What is this problem with Modi ji and every other Chief Minister of BJP? I don't understand. Unless there is something else. Unless I am wrong. Unless what everybody else is saying that EVMs, through EVMs they manipulate elections. And that is the reason. Now, seriously coming to the point, when we got that Haryana, Punjab and Haryana High Court's order of the direction to the Election Commission of India to supply me the videography of the entire election process, 6 months before the election and after a conclusion of election, and storage of EVM machines. Of all the 90 Haryana constituencies, MLA constituencies. So the Modi government, Election Commission, RSS and BJP were caught between the devil and the deep sea. If they give me that, and I had declared, I will put a screen in every constituency of Haryana and show to the people for themselves to judge what and in what manner elections were held, whether they were held according to the law or whether there was fraud committed on them. This was one option to them. So they were scared of adopting that line. So they changed the goalpost. After I won the game, Haryana High Court, it was argued very vehemently from the side of Election Commission that no, we will not give. Mr. Pracha is not the voter of Haryana. He is not even a resident of Haryana. He has not contested any election in Haryana. He wants to commit some mischief and blah blah blah. He is anti-national. I don't know what not they said in the courts. But the court still overruled all this and said, no, you have to give. And the law for that is, if a candidate asks for this videography and all the papers, which the Election Commission is repeatedly refusing all the candidates, it has to be given free of cost. If somebody else asks for it, a citizen asks for it, it has to be given, but albeit with a cost. So I was willing to pay the cost. So therefore, my case got proved by the fact that they changed the law to prevent me from getting this. And they had to change the law. Then, rest is in front of you. What is happening now? I will also like to inform you the positive side to our struggle. I was in Maharashtra and I met various leaders. And because of that, and because of the team of Maharashtra in which various people are helping me, I do not want to name them because of security reasons. But I met top leaders, and as a result of that, upward of 100 petitions, I believe, have been filed against the 100 seats in which the Mahavikas Aghadi lost in Maharashtra election. Upward of around 20 petitions have been filed in Haryana challenging the elections, and upward of 90 elections have been challenged of the Lok Sabha elections in the 90. Now, I also want to tell this August gathering that to undo the result of an election, there is only one way available in law in India, and that is by way of an individual election petition filed in respective high courts. There is no other way. Even if you see somebody looting the votes, even if it happens and is directly telecast to the world that somebody is killing people and looting votes, even then there is no method available in the country to set aside that election barring by way of an election petition. When the election election process starts. Now this apparently seems to be a very unjust law, but there is a reason for it, and that reason is, shortly I will explain, is that otherwise no election will get completed if courts start intervening in every election during the election process. So now here comes the catch. Every election petition that you people must be knowing, and I know, takes about years, and normally about more than 5 years to get decided. Now what is the point of filing this petition when the entire tenure is passed and the fruits of a fraudulent elections are enjoyed by the winning candidate? So that was the biggest catch. So we had to convince the political leaders, and I am trying to convince the public also, that we have devised a method. And I am known to find out solutions to very, very difficult problems. Being an Ambedkarite, it's my duty, because Baba Sahib also has found out such a wonderful solution to the so many problems which our countries and people of our country were facing by way of this constitution. So I have devised a method of getting these petitions decided in a period of not more than 6 to 8 months. And that would be the actual game changer. So we have still the hope, and we fervently hope that upward of 90 seats of Lok Sabha, there will be re-elections very soon. Upward of 100 seats in Maharashtra if there are 100 petitions, and upward of 20 seats in Haryana if there are petitions, which can be decided in 6 to 8 months. That's our next target goal. And these elections will be held by paper ballots. Because we have to have solutions, not just raise the voice, ban EVM, but we have to make the pinch of law and the constitution be fed by people who have won by EVM, not by people's mandate. So that is our target. Second thing is, now before I come to the final part of my address, and then I will invite questions, because I like to answer questions more than my opening remarks, because then the real truth comes out. Because you grill me as much as you want. If I am truthful, I will be able to give an answer which is logical, which is legal, and which is understandable by common people. Three tests. If I am not able to do it, then I am not a trustworthy person. I am not like Modi ji and Rajiv Kumar ji, that you trust us, I will sing some shairi to you and you have to believe me. I am not like that. And shak ka ilaj Hakim Luqman ke paas bhi nahi tha, I don't say that. Science is the answer to every shak, every doubt. Our constitution, which strives to instill scientific temperament in each and every citizen, is the answer to every doubt. शक का इलाज भारत के संविधान में, और संविधान में साइंटिफिक टेम्परमेंट रखना शक का इलाज है. हमारे ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री में हमारे सारे शक और शुबहात के डाउट्स जो क्लियर किए गए, ज्यादातर, सारे तो नहीं, ज्यादातर वो साइंस से, लॉजिक से किए गए. कोई भी इंसान ये कहता है कि शक का इलाज कोई नहीं है, तो वो झूठ बोलता है, मेरा ऐसा मानना. तो एक और प्रॉब्लम जो दिल्ली और बिहार के और जो फ्यूचर इलेक्शंस में आने वाली है, तो हम ये कोशिश भी कर रहे हैं टू ट्राई एंड मीट पीपल्स political parties other than RSS and BJP who are contesting elections in Delhi, and after that in Bihar and every other election, Goa elections are also coming. Till such time elections are held by paper ballots. That is the ideal situation. If political parties support us, it will happen very, very quickly now because we have almost won the battle. Technically, logically, we have neutralized every argument which was placed against us. Now it is only people's movement which is stopping it from actually implementing it. So for Delhi elections, there is another problem which has been actually very prominently highlighted in Maharashtra election, that is manipulation of voter list. For that also I was preparing for a long time. I had already filed a complaint in before Delhi police for registration of an FIR for this voter list manipulation. And also side by side, if the candidates, we have chalked out an SOP which will reduce the poison of EVM from hitting the EVM from within by asking them to follow their own protocols. They cannot follow their protocols because they have to manipulate elections. So we can help political parties in ensuring that the poisonous effect of EVM machine is minimized. Even if the elections are held by EVM, that is our endeavor for Delhi and for future elections in Bihar and other states. Now, what is the biggest challenge which we are facing? I will come to that and then I will finish my address and invite questions. The biggest challenge is not the people. People are there, but you know, our democratic system has actually emerged in such a fashion that we are dependent on political parties for addressing our grievances, and that is also debatable, and long debate is required on that also. Now, if in the words of Devasayam Saab, the opposition political parties are happy with the low-hanging fruits, जो आराम से मिल जाए ऐसे ही फल से खुश है वो, तो ये तो कोई सही तरीका नहीं है। जनता की आवाज ये है कि हमें एक्स पार्टी को हटाना है क्योंकि हम इनसे खुश नहीं है, हम इन्हें कान पकड़ के बाहर करना चाहते हैं। उसका प्राइमरी टूल आज की तारीख में क्या बन गया है, स्पेशली बिकॉज ऑफ ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन्स हैं, प्राइमरी टारगेट ये बन गया है कि हम डिपेंडेंट हो गए हैं कैंडिडेट्स के ऊपर, और कैंडिडेट्स भी महत्वपूर्ण कैंडिडेट्स 99% कौन होते हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के पास। ये बहुत खतरनाक बात है। अगर एक आपने टेंडर्स के बारे में तो सुना ही होगा, यहाँ तो बहुत आयरन ओर के और इसके उसके टेंडर्स बहुत होते हैं ना, तो गोवा वाले तो बहुत एक्सपर्ट होंगे ये सब समझने में। अगर कार्टेलाइजेशन कर लिया जाए टेंडर्स का, सुना है ना आपने कार्टेलाइजेशन का कॉन्सेप्ट, अगर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी भी आपस में कार्टेलाइज कर लें और प्रॉफिट्स बांट लें, तो हम लोग और आप लोग कहाँ गए, सब कुछ तो अडानी अंबानी यूसुफ लुलू जैसे लोग ही उड़ा के ले जाएंगे और कार्टेलाइजेशन हो जाएगा। हमारे हक भारत आज ऐसा नहीं है कि हम फाइनेंशियली ग्रो नहीं कर रहे हैं, हमारी जो आम जनता है ना इतनी मेहनत कर रही है, अगर उसका सही हक उसे मिल जाए तो आज मेरे ख्याल से 90% से ज्यादा देश के घर खुशहाल हो जाएंगे। लेकिन जो हमारा जीडीपी ग्रोथ हो भी रहा है, जो अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है क्योंकि अच्छे लोगों के हाथ में नहीं है, समझदार लोगों के हाथ में नहीं है, वरना इस समय इंडिया का ग्रोथ रेट ऐसे होना चाहिए था जैसे चाइना ने पिछले 20 साल में किया। तो अभी ऐसे नहीं हो रहा है मिसमैनेजमेंट की वजह से और चोरी और डकैती की वजह से। तो इसका बेनिफिट मिल रहा है मुट्ठी भर लोगों को। अगर ये सबको मिलता तो मेरा ये मानना है कि ये मुंह दिखाई की ऑपोजिशन ठीक नहीं है। एंड पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आर आल्सो सर्वेंट्स ऑफ द पीपल, दे कैनॉट not fight properly against this tyrannical government. That is the mandate of people. People have voted this government out. It is only there because of the fraudulent machines of EVM. And political parties, opposition political parties will have to fight this battle. Rahul Gandhi ji, I take his name for a reason, specific reason. He is the leader of the opposition. Who does he represent? What percentage of Indian people he represents? He cannot have excuses. And I come to the excuses just now. Narendra Modi Sahab enjoys with his entire NDA about 40% of the will of the voters of this country. That's right, there is data. Election Commission. People who have voted against this NDA, despite all the manipulations by EVM, still number about 60%. And this 60% number is represented by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So he cannot have excuses. He has to. Now I come to the main problem. Every political party's grassroots workers are 100% in agreement with what we are saying, qua EVM. 100%. And every party's top leadership, 100%, once again I am saying with full sense of responsibility, 100%. Barring a few doubts here and there which the sleeper cell put into their minds, which can be cleared in 5 minutes, is 100% in unison with us, top leadership and the grassroots workers. Now what we have researched out is that there are sleeper cells. There are agents of RSS and BJP in almost all the top political parties. And I don't need to give you examples after examples. You've seen so many turncoats after every election. You've seen so many government fall. You've seen government fall here. You've seen people who have been voted into the assembly by the constituents. One fine morning he says that you voted against this party, I am joining that party. This kind of fraudulent behavior. What is this? It is happening. So I don't need to specify more that there are sleeper cells, agents of RSS and BJP, almost all the political parties, they try to ride the crest of opposition, the mood of opposing the status quo of the people, and then help maintain that status quo. Nothing can be more fraudulent in democracy than this. You are defeating the will of the people by this fraudulent method. Forget about EVM also. And this strength comes to them because they will win elections because of EVM. So the point I was trying to make is we've named, especially I have not named the sleeper cells in any other party. I have named a few sleeper cells in Congress party, two actually, Mr. Jairam Ramesh and Mr. K.C. Venugopal. We have ample evidence for that. We protested outside Congress's office. It was a kind of soft protest, requesting Khadgeji and Rahulji to push out the sleeper cells and come and lead EVM's battle. Lead us. We will stand behind the opposition party leaders. Khadge Sahab, after losing Maharashtra's election on 20th of November, on 26th of November on the Constitution Day, in a large gathering in Talkotara Stadium, announced the following: that Congress party will oppose the EVM machine by way of public protest, and that protest will be led by none other than Mr. Rahul Gandhi in a fashion of, in the manner of Bharat Jodo Yatra. Nothing. Recently held working committee meeting. Also, the sleeper cells diluted the entire issue of EVMs and said that we will work for electoral reforms. This is the sleeper cell of Congress party. I can name the sleeper cells, not right now, but very soon I am going to name sleeper cells of every political party which is actually trying to sabotage the battle, which is getting crystal clear now, of the country wanting paper ballots and not EVM. They are now, the latest method of theirs is in which sleeper cells of civil society are also very prominently active. Mr. Yogendra Yadav is one who has called every one of us a quack, arguing that this debate of EVM, whatever the election commission says, should now be forgotten. Let us concentrate on other anomalies of election, that is purchase of voter, violation of code of a moral code of conduct, use of money, use of communal statements by the ruling class. Let us concentrate on that. Forget EVM, it is not important, it is not actually any problem at all. Now apparently these people are very, very trusted. One of them, Mr. Yogendra Yadav, I am taking his name because he was right next to Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his Bharat Jodo Yatra. So he comes out and calls me, Devasayam Saab, Prabhakar Parkara Saab, Justice Kolse Patil Saab, Raju Purlekar Saab, Dr. Pyarelal Garg Saab, a quack. Now I did some research on him and I have details how he is a sleeper cell. So this Mr. Venugopal, Mr. Jairam Ramesh and Mr. Yogendra Yadav. Others are also there who masquerade as experts. They are experts in their fields. But their thrust is one. Anybody, and I am giving you a formula to understand who is an RSS agent. You criticize BJP on communalism. They say that they are anti-national. They are this. They are selling the country. They are responsible for the unemployment. They are responsible for price rise. They have destroyed the country. They have no problem. I am telling you, formula. But you do not take the name of EVM. That if anybody is like that, he is an RSS agent. I am declaring it from here. Modi ji has no problem if you call him any name, but don't talk about it. Because, and the logic behind that is Mr. Rahul Gandhi and all the opposition, Mamata Banerjee Sahiba and everyone who is winning or losing elections. If they campaign and convince the people, even if they campaign and convince the people, 20% extra votes, 20% manipulated votes will always be there in favor of whoever Mr. Amit Shah and Rajiv Kumar and likes of them want. And this is not true for them alone, but anybody who is in seat of power and if he has a tendency of being dishonest. This power will be available to them as of now. It can be improved later on, but right now this is 20% is the cap. Wherever you are winning elections, now you are defeating not only the original votes of BJP, but which are very few in number, but this 20% extra, up to 20% extra would be a better thing. So what they do not want is, so what formula I am giving is, anybody who is criticizing Mr. Modi and Amit Shah and RSS and BJP, but is saying don't bring up the topic of EVM. He is a mole. Either he is a mole or he is a person who does not understand the holistic and correct picture. The second category can be convinced in a few minutes. And if he doesn't get convinced, then my opinion and my suggestion to you is brand these people as agents of RSS and BJP. Otherwise they should get convinced with the logic, no, because they have no logic. They have absolutely no logic but saying these rigmarole like things like you win elections also. Right? I will win elections by a larger margin and you will lose elections by a larger margin if EVMs are not there. If the use of machine is minimized by some way or the other, you will not win elections. If there is a massive wave, how much can you control by casting extra 20% votes? So this is one argument which they give. Then they give another flimsy argument that you are against the technology, you are against advancement. I am drinking this water. Can I substitute with an image of water? Can I substitute food with an image of food? Some things will remain basic. Something will have to be basic. That is science. It is not against advancing forward. It is not against use of technology. I want to use technology to ensure that paper ballot become more safe method of holding elections by putting CCTV cameras so that there can be no booth capturing. By putting in more security forces so that booths are not captured. That is the use of technology. So therefore, our battle now, first and foremost, is winning and weeding these sleeper cells and RSS agents out of amongst ourselves. Once we do that, I think 75% of our battle is almost won. We have every logical, legal, technical and data-wise, all the material has been collected. This much hard work we have done. There is nothing left. The only thing which is left now is victory, which is within our reach. I request you, all of you, to extend your hand and grab the victory. Bring back paper ballot, ban EVM to save our democracy, to save our country. Thank you very much. I would very much want to answer all and any questions. Thank you.